check. Mic check, 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 check. Let me put the camera on me. Just want to make sure that, okay. Gentlemen, how y'all sound?
I think I sound good.
Do I sound good?
I believe I sound good.
Oh,
I
just
sound
speak a little.
smooth. I probably sound good.
I believe I sound good.
All right.
Think I just got to speak up. Do I sound good?
Yeah, you good.
Okay, cool.
All right, all right. And Chris, you're good?
Testing 1, 2.
Yep, you're good. All right, we are all good. So if we're good, that means we're good to start the episode. So without further ado, we shall begin in 3, 2. Good evening, everybody. What is going on? Episode 127 of the South Florida Gamers Podcast. I am your host, the Silverback Senpai. Across the table from me is none other than my co-host, Waluigi.
Good evening, good morning, good day. It's good to be back, and this is our first time having a guest on a Thursday in a minute.
I know.
Wait, have we had one?
No.
This is our first one, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, first one of the year. And to introduce our guest, that is none other than Chris Valdi. What is going on?
What's up, man?
How you doing?
Glad to be here. Pleasure for having me.
Likewise, pleasure to have you now. How you doing this evening?
Oh, I'm doing great, man.
Good.
I don't even know how I can be able to describe my day.
Dang,
Hey, that's
that's
good.
real.
These, so we're sounding good. So for those that are watching and tuning in, of course, thank you guys so much for watching and being a subscriber, being a follower of the South Florida Gamers Podcast. We greatly appreciate y'all. And of course, like and share the stream wherever you are, and give us some follows. Let the people know about the South Florida Gamers Podcast. And of course, if you are a South Florida native, whether you are in Palm Beach, Broward, or Miami-Dade County, you too can become a guest here in the lovely studio located at Flynn's Hobby Shop in Margate in Broward. And yeah, you can be just like Chris in this lovely seat where you can be a guest of the show. So without further ado, we have a normal tradition here on the podcast, myself and Waluigi, and that is that whenever we have a new guest, we always ask them what is their gaming background story. What got you into gaming? Give us your gaming lore, Chris.
Oh, okay.
The floor is yours.
Yep.
Well, as I could say, I'm not entirely sure, especially since when I was a kid, I was very into video games at a very early age.
Okay.
And I guess around these days, adulthood starts to go away.
But
But from the best that I could say and to the best of my ability. So I think it was around when I turned 6, 7 years old. And my parents, for 1 year for my birthday, they got me a Wii. A Nintendo Wii.
we.
And as far as what I could say also about it is that they were a little more generous. They also got me a GameCube.
Oh,
Nice.
As it comes to figure out about that. So when I got the Wii and the GameCube, it was just me and my brother. We were running Mario Strikers, Super Smash Bros, trying to do Mario Kart Double Dash, hit each other with the blue shells,
Oh, that's
of
funny.
course. And as everything that was almost perfect, it was the best experience I could ever have as a kid.
That's awesome.
Nice.
And I guess I could also say that when I first got that GameCube, I was ecstatic. I was excited. I was ready to freaking tear that Christmas present open because I somehow knew in my head that my parents were gonna get me this, and so I was all jittery. It's just like when you're 6 years old. And
Oh, about childlike excitement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you have that. And so when me and my brother first found out about it, and then we opened our presents, 5 minutes later, we didn't even bother opening up Christmas presents anymore, birthday presents, or however we were gonna do it. We didn't even bother.
Wow.
We just opened it up, put that puppy in on the TV.
No
and
time wasted.
No time was wasted. First things first, Double Dash. He beat me 6 times. 6 times.
Oh, wow.
With Mario and Yoshi, because Yoshi was his favorite character. I don't even know how to describe that part.
Yoshi.
Yoshi, it's Yoshi, exactly. But the best I could say, me and him fought over Yoshi. We
That's
did.
insane.
We fought over Yoshi a lot, and from all of those experiences, I beat him another 7 times after that.
Fighting for a side character is insane, but you got to respect it.
Oh, of course. No, and then around when I turned 9, I got my first Xbox 360.
Ooh.
Modern Warfare 2 edition. You know the.
Oh,
you know
Oh,
the-
yeah,
you
I
know, with the
remember.
plating,
I
with the
remember that.
plating.
Yes, I remember that.
With that special plating that they had on it, and I was mesmerized. And I'll be honest, that was not my first COD. Modern Warfare 2 was not my first COD. And
Okay.
when I got around to it, my first COD was actually, I believe it was either 4 or World at War.
Oh, both are
Okay.
good.
Yeah. No, it was amazing. But having to experience that as a kid, because you know, when you're a kid, you get to have a lot of freedom.
Yes.
You do.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, I feel there's a certain leeway to exploit that freedom.
Yes.
And every single day, I sat there playing my GameCube, playing my Wii, playing Guitar Hero, playing all of that. And I don't regret it to this day. Because it actually got me into the profession that I really wanted to get into. And it's amazing.
Hell yeah.
So tell me about your
Yes.
your favorite gaming genres. Tell me some genres that's just they're your go-to favorites. So you mentioned, of course, Mario Kart on Double Dash, so that's your racing right there. You also mentioned, Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2. That's your, your FPS. What other genres that just just cling to you, like you can never let them go?
Oh. Well, for one, I would have to say for my shooters, Gears of War.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
I can't forget Gears of War.
No, you can't.
No, I can't. And especially for a kid like me that was, a couple years past when the first one came out,
Mm-hmm.
I was able to get my hands on a copy soon after I got my Xbox,
Oh my god.
and I never stopped. I still have it to this day.
That's good.
I have my copies as well.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, you never forget your first.
Nope.
You never forget your first game of the franchise. And from what I could say about that, that would be my all-time favorite. Learning about it. Marcus Phoenix and Dominic,
Yep.
taking out the Locust,
Now,
especially with the
how'd you feel about fighting General Rom?
General Rom was a pain. Can I swear on here?
Yes.
Yes.
Was a pain in my mother effing ass.
I have to ask this question because it's one of the hardest gaming bosses of the 360 days. One of them. I'm not going to say it like as a title, but fighting General Rom is usually the pain in the butt if you don't know what to do. And all you just have to do is keep shooting. That's just like the only answer.
Of course, because he has the Krills that
Yeah.
are guarding him, using the Krill as human shields.
Yeah,
Or
pretty
should
much.
we say I don't know,
Like
flies?
like a shield.
Yeah, like a shield, and just having to shoot him repeatedly, and then if I'm not sure, I think after the 4th time I died, I started to realize, oh yeah, I could just throw a grenade.
Yeah.
I can throw a freaking grenade, just like,
Yeah, but
roll the dice.
It's a game of patience.
Oh, yeah. I had to figure that out. I actually had to figure that out during Gears 2.
Yep. Especially also the fact that that was like one of the first games that had like mobile driving,
Yeah.
or the fact you had to use like the darkness is against you.
Yeah, but at that point when the darkness is against you,
When you had to like shoot the barrels to light the fires just so you can keep walking, like that is one of the scariest things in that game.
no.
I
was.
remember that. I remember that so vividly well. And
Yep.
I was just like, because you had to be very careful because you had those little
Like
those clickers that would come around and then just like self-destruct. And then would catch you at like the most random times. And then when you play at a higher difficulty, GG's.
Oh yeah, then there's also the blind character where whatever noise you made, it just keeps running through.
Ah, the Chargers.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was pure terror.
But if I would have to say, apart from my shooters, I love story-rich games. Like games, well, if we're talking more modern day, I would have to say like games like Detroit Become Human,
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
especially that way. But back,
Was it the theme of the game, like the choice making, or like the game itself?
I would have to say, well, to be honest, it had to do with mostly the actors because
Yeah, their acting is
yes.
they're impeccable actually.
Well, because actually when I came to find out about it, one of the actors was actually a main character on Grey's Anatomy.
Really?
And
I
when
didn't know
I
that.
yeah, when I found out about that, I was very excited to see it. I was very excited to play this game. I thought to myself, wow, casting actors who were actually in hit TV shows like that, because I love hospital shows like, you got House MD, you got Grey's Anatomy, you got General Hospital, you got ER.
Real.
They were all good shows. And then having to bring one of those actors from that kind of show, I knew that he was going to kill it in that game. But for my first story, Rich, I would have to say
Okay.
it was The Walking Dead,
Ooh, Telltale.
the Telltale series.
I've heard so many good things about the Walking Dead on Telltale series. Lots of good things about it. I mean, share with us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, at first, I'll be honest with you, when I was a kid, I was actually very scared of zombies.
Yeah.
I mean, Black Ops.
Yep.
That actually
Say less.
scarred me a little bit when I was a kid. But The Walking Dead, it just never seemed to.
Because they never get named zombies. They just call them walkers.
Walkers, exactly.
And that sounds less scary than just like, just straight up zombies from the undead.
I just don't. I guess in that sense, yes.
It's like
the word itself. I just don't know. It just
walkers. Oh
walkers.
no.
It felt subtle.
Yeah.
It felt subtle. It felt calming, and it felt, you know what? He's gonna kill these walkers.
Yeah.
But
Not to cut you off. I think with zombies and walkers, I think the difference would be the two. Like with walkers, of course, they're not like running or charging at you. They're just walking at at their usual slow pace. Zombies, on the other hand, you don't know if that zombie can run at you or charge at you or just like they're just very slow.
You just don't know what type of zombie. If it's a Korean film where it knows everything, if it's an American film, it can run like hell, or like some kind of broken Resident Evil concept.
if we're talking Resident Evil, oh my God, please don't run into the tyrants. Don't try to get killed by a licker.
Oh, you're talking about the classic Resident Evil.
I'm talking about that. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Let's see. We could think. Well, oh my God, we could talk about Resident Evil for days. I could say the nemesis, the tyrant.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness. And then having to go through that mansion, that scared the crap out of me.
Oh, that scares the crap out of anybody.
Oh.
I have yet to play a Resident Evil game, and that's because I'm too scared. I am very
your
chicken shit when it comes to
your
horror
first
games.
mistake is just going straight to 7. That's the one thing I will tell you. If you started slowly, like with the old-fashioned camera panels, it's not as bad. But then if you go to like Resident Evil 4, where it's like more action-packed, Resident Evil 5, where it's more action, 6 we don't talk about.
Well, as a younger soul, I started on 4.
I started on 4 as well.
I started on 4. I thought it was fun, and then I got to 5 with Chris Redfield. It was amazing.
Yeah, that action on Xbox 360 feels good.
Oh yeah.
Like it just feels more of an action movie with zombies.
No, but if I was to say on a scale of 1 to 10 on which one would scare me the most between Walking Dead and Resident Evil, Walking Dead is 2 out of 10.
Okay.
Yep.
Resident Evil, if I was 10 again, 7 out of 10.
I can agree with that.
Okay.
7 out of 10. It was crazy. But back to The Walking Dead though.
Yes.
When I was a kid and I first started playing the game, I never really understood the definition of telltale until one of my friends from middle school explained it to me, and I just went with it. I just went along with him explaining what it was and everything, and it still intrigued me. I thought it was a good way to tell a story of a game.
Yeah.
It's always a good way.
There's a lot of versions of Telltales. It's insane. But Walking Dead, it's really good.
Oh yeah. No, and the first scene in the game where where the cop car crashes off into a ditch, and then you just see the body that's right in front of you, and he's trying to get out of his handcuffs. So when I got out of the car, that walker, he just like, he had me. He just jumped me a little bit. I was like, holy crap. I never realized how fast I can get up. I just never realized that. And as of playing through and seeing this whole story develop and seeing everything that they've gone through, I would think to myself, wow. Yeah, I'm going to die in a zombie apocalypse immediately. I'm not gonna be. I'm not
That's
gonna
a
be
real
this.
statement.
I'm not gonna be this guy. I'm not gonna be the main character, and save a little girl.
You're thinking.
I mean, I'll try to save the little girl. Of course, I'm not an animal, but I don't know. I just think
You're thinking this ain't Zombieland.
if yes, I think like Zombieland. Exactly. I'm like Columbus.
You're real.
I'm Columbus
Don't
with
do
my
fist.
no. I'm Columbus with my phobias and
Yeah.
and his list of rules.
And like the rules make sense, which is so funny.
Yeah, it's like to be safe. Rule number 1: cardio. That is the
And it's like, don't be unguarded in the map. But like, for those who haven't seen Zombieland, I recommend watching it as a comedy/horror, but it's mostly comedy.
Oh yeah, no, it's an insane comedy. And you want to know something? It's actually one of those comedies from those kinds of movies that were good back in the day.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
I-
like
I would-
classic 2010s.
Yes, of course. I would have to say like between 2002 and 2009 is when they made the really good, corny but also quirky comedies.
Yeah.
Even if it was like Zombieland or maybe Superbad with Jonah Hill, Michael Cera, and
Yeah.
and Christopher Mintz-Plasse, or Knocked Up with Seth Rogen.
Yes,
That was great.
that was great.
Oh my god, it was hilarious.
Good movie.
No,
movies.
those movies were always fun.
So for more on Telltale series, did you play anything else besides The Walking Dead?
Besides The Walking Dead,
There's so many of them.
there was this one. I'm sorry, I don't remember the name off the top of
Do you
my
remember
head.
the description?
The Wolf?
The Wolf Among Us, I think is the name.
Yeah, The Wolf
Yeah.
Among Us.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the correct name.
I wanted. A friend of mine recommended it to me back in high school. He told me about it, and I'll be honest. When I got into the story,
It drifted. Yeah.
it drifted.
They
It kind
do.
of drifted.
They do tend to throw directions based off the IP that it's under.
Yeah.
Because like there's some one of Batman, there's Wolf Among Us, Walking Dead, there's a Game of Thrones.
Now the Batman Telltale.
Yes.
That was awesome.
Oh yes.
that
it
was golden.
I have played it briefly.
Mm.
That's one of the few I remember before they discontinued.
Before it discontinued.
Oh, Telltale kind of just like died off for like a hot minute.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, there hasn't been that many Telltales coming out recently.
No.
I thought they stopped like completely for a while. I'm waiting for the next one to pop up. We're like, hey, we're back up and running. Here's a new story.
Well, actually, let me ask you this: what kind of story, or what kind of story would you want them to tell for the next game? Like, from what genre? Like, pick any video game.
Ooh, from any video game. That's tough. There are so many. I would think probably like either a movie series or they would try to redo Game of Thrones. I feel like you can recover some of it. Because after the last season of Game of Thrones, there's so much wrong that could have happened.
That's bold.
Yes. You know that, and that ending sucked. Before House of Dragons, they had to make up for. Like, if you were able to fix that, I know a lot of viewers would be heavily invested into that. Oh my god, like, they rushed that series so much that a lot of viewers could change their own story on how it feels. Or they could have changed, like, what type of ending. Like, Jon Snow actually being the king of... Sorry for spoiling. If you haven't seen it, it's on you. You
I
gotta-
mean, it's been many years,
I like
so
it.
it's just so at this point, it's just like, listen, if you haven't watched it now, I don't think you're gonna watch it anytime soon.
Oh
so
no.
you might
Like,
as well.
I
Just go
personally
ahead.
say like Game of Thrones, or you can probably just try like a new concept, or at least more of a futuristic. Probably like Batman Beyond. There's not many games that have Batman Beyond based off of it. There's like one existing, and like from the PS2 days.
Actually, what about those rumors that they're?
Oh, I'm sorry, N64.
Oh yeah. What about those rumors that they're actually planning on bringing a Batman Beyond?
I am so happy for that. That's one Batman that have not been covered. Spider-Man 2099 was covered at least a couple times.
Yeah. Shattered Dimensions.
Yes.
Edge of Time.
Yes.
Yep.
And even the skin for like the last Spider-Man game that came out. But there not been a single like Terry McGinnis game
No.
in such a long time. I think that would be good.
Oh, it would be massive. I'm pretty sure, and I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'll throw a spitball idea here, but I would have to say that if they throw a Telltale for Cyberpunk, I will buy that game.
Edge Runners probably like everyone would want.
Yeah. Okay.
You
I've
know that's-
heard.
You know it's gonna be.
I've heard the rumors, of course, that people do, or no, I've heard everything about it, that everybody wants an Edge Runners Telltale series. They would want the aftermath of they would want the aftermath of such characters.
Of like, are they just gonna focus on like the one main character? Okay, Edge Runner's more recent, so I'm not gonna spoil it. And I've been spoiled by this, and I haven't even seen the series.
And no, back to it. I've never seen Game of Thrones.
You know, you're real. You're real. You're good. You saved yourself some time. I watched the spoilers.
I'm starting.
So I watched a YouTube
do.
series that explained like season 1 through 7 in 20 minutes. I did not retain any of that.
Oh my god.
But Cyberpunk is, I think, the next series I have to watch. But for Telltale, I would say Game of Thrones. Cyberpunk wouldn't be too bad. I feel like it has to be something modern and relevant to keep people's attention span.
Yes, definitely.
Because you can't have like some old movie series or same Batman, maybe a Superman or like a Young Justice.
Young Justice. Oof.
I know Young Justice is a little bit like out there.
They're not. I wouldn't say they're out there per se.
It's like out of pocket. Like no one thinks about that instead of Teen Titans.
Yeah, because I mean, yeah, of course, yeah, you could put it that way. When you put it that way, I would have to say that yes.
Yeah.
Look, Young Justice, they are pretty much the second team of Teen Titans.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because of course you got Robin, you got Starfire, you got Beast Boy.
You got
got
like the main
Cyborg.
staples. The main like staples of every Teen Titan, but just in a different format.
Of course.
I think that would be a good Telltale series if you're focusing on the DC route.
If you want to go, if you really want to go the DC route even further,
Go on.
what did you actually think when they decided to try coming out with a Flash game?
Not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen. I feel like there's a lot of physics demanding it.
Then what about the canceled game of Wonder Woman?
Honestly, I'm not surprised they canceled it
I'm not surprised either, actually.
because DC has been a letdown. We've talked about this in the past.
Yeah.
DC has let down their movies. Their
And
o-
their games.
The only good thing is the animation.
Yeah.
Like DCAU is probably like one of the best animations compared to Marvel. I may sound based for saying this, but I would have been surprised they actually kept a Wonder Woman game. Can't tell if it'd be similar to like X-Men Origins Wolverine or if it would be similar to like its own thing, where it's not even mission based. That was my personal guess at the approach. Oh shit! I forgot there's a Wolverine game coming out.
Yeah.
I just remembered.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, yeah. I
But
kind of forgot about that. I'll be honest.
I'm sorry, it was just a flashback. I just realized I'm like I'm missing something important. But with Wonder Woman, now it'd be weird. But with Flash, I feel like a lot of physics, a lot of like how fast can you really be fast?
Yeah.
Because you know there's gonna be lore accurate comic book nerds that are gonna be like, I'm sorry, he's just thinking everybody's in slow motion.
That's right.
You forgot the picky comic nerds,
Yeah.
and then there's picky movie nerds that pick on the comic nerds.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then which voice is gonna be the Flash is the real question, or which Flash are we talking about?
Yeah. Is it Barry Allen or Wally West? Like, oh yeah, you are so yeah. You're
I'm-
spot on.
I know I'm spot on.
You're spot on.
I thought about this too.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Are we gonna have like a new voice actor? Are we gonna have Ezra come back? After being-
Ezra. Oh my goodness. No,
No.
don't even get me started. All right, I don't want to turn into Entertainment Weekly over here. Okay, I do not want to be that guy.
I know.
I do not want to be EW right now.
Ain't no one ready for that type of Flash game.
No.
They tried to do
Please.
a Superman, but it failed.
They failed.
Yeah, there was like a Superman game on the N64. Then there was also one of the Xbox 360 days that didn't really do good.
There what?
Yep.
How come I never heard of this?
Neither have I.
Yeah, there's two Superman games that exist. One in the N64 with low rating, and
I remember that one.
I'm sorry, not 360, the Xbox days.
Oh, okay.
Jeez.
Where it had its own weird flight mechanics and everything.
Did you see? Well, you know when the Matrix Unreal Engine demo came out?
Yes.
Yes, and you saw the Superman and the Superman modifications they made to it.
Yeah.
Yes.
They actually considered making the game based off of its engine.
Oh, that would.
They tried.
I don't know how I would feel about that.
I wouldn't feel. I
No,
wouldn't
I
feel
would
too
not.
good about it.
I wouldn't either.
I would have expected them to make a better engine with Beyond Good and Evil.
I'm kind of worried about superhero games now. I feel like they're gonna suck now after I said this.
No, the only game that I ever want to see coming back, and this is anti-hero. This is like more bad guy and villainous, more out of vengeance.
Punisher. Ooh.
Prototype. Yes, I remember that.
Prototype.
I'm a
Yes,
sucker
I
for-
remember that.
I played both of them. I pre-ordered the second one because I loved the first one so much.
I loved the first one.
Because they left the scene with a cliffhanger of like this Spawn coming back from the dead after the last prototype killed Alex Mercer. There's just so much, but they left that they just continued on like nothing happened.
Jesus.
I'm
Really?
sorry. I love that game so much. I had a good memory of it. I invested in that game heavy.
Oh my god. No, even thinking about it nowadays, they need to bring it back.
If they remastered it, I would actually play it.
Yeah.
Because
Same.
the amount of gore mechanics that they had and the types of weaponry in a game, it felt like you're playing like the Incredible Hulk on a PS2, but with extra steps
Yeah.
because of all the movement, except for the flight.
Yeah, the flight thing wasn't really my best.
No, it wasn't anybody's.
Well, no, not even flying, gliding.
Yes.
The gliding wasn't my best.
wasn't.
Wasn't my best moments.
I get it. I just like jumping up and down and slamming down. Or just like being able to hijack. It's like the Grand Theft Auto that nobody expected.
Yeah.
Because you're able to learn abilities. Man, play Prototype for the love of God.
Yeah, no, I say this now. Play Prototype. Prototype is a good game. If you have a PC, it's actually on Steam. You can still play it. And I would have to say that certain servers,
I'm going to put it in my wish list.
certain servers are still active. How do you? Wait, what?
Servers are still active is insane. If it had an online multiplayer, slurs will be said.
Oh my God, no! I wouldn't even. I'm sorry, I can't even imagine Prototype being a multiplayer game. It's not. It's not a. It's not meant to be a multiplayer game.
Oh no, you can like compete with other scores with people if you do the time trials, but that's it.
Those time trials from the second one, I thought were kind of a waste of time.
They are a waste of time. People just focus on the story, but I love the stealth missions
Those stealth missions are always good.
because you like go into the memories of other people, and then you're like, well, don't care anymore.
Yeah, it's like, no, I don't care anymore.
I just want to
don't-
learn how to hack.
No, I don't. You know what? I don't care about getting caught. I'll pull out the claws and
Yeah.
just start slashing.
And then I just started shooting. Like that's how you.
Oh my God, the shooting.
Lord, there's so much to cover within those classic games. Would you consider hack and slash like a type of game you were into?
Hack and slash, I never entirely got into.
Okay.
That was pretty much the only hack and slash I ever played.
I respect that because I know
Okay.
some folks are into Devil May Cry and some other games like that, like God of War.
Oh no, God of War I've got into since COVID. I
There
have
we
gotten
go.
into God of War. No, since COVID I have gotten into God of War. I'm more of a newer fan when it comes to God of War because I never owned a PlayStation when I was a kid.
I respect that.
Okay,
say something similar.
Oh
know
God,
that.
okay. I want to hear it.
He's about to
I
give you.
really do.
He's about to give you. He's about to give you Rex.
I'd love to hear it. I missed out, didn't I? I missed out.
Yeah, you hella missed out on some God of War. I mean, I'm not gonna fault you for where you started with God of War, like you started on the new one, but man,
Oh no, I didn't start out on the new one.
oh, which one did you start on?
I started on God of War 3.
Okay, you're good.
I started
Never
on the
mind.
point. I started on
Never
the point
mind,
where
you're
he was
valid.
climbing up Mount Olympus.
Okay, you're good.
Gaia, and he's like,
That's peak. That
Zeus, you will be dead.
yeah, you
Oh,
started
you're
on the
good.
peak one, so you're good.
I started on the peak part.
I started on 3 too.
Yeah.
3, 2. TO.
And then after when I tried going back to play God of War 1 and 2, there was no possible way for me to play it. I couldn't emulate because
That's true.
then when I first built my PC, I wanted to emulate so many games from my 360. And then I thought to myself, because a friend of mine told me about it, I can also emulate PS2 games.
That is true.
Mm-hmm.
But I could never find a good one. I could never find a good emulator or even a good version of the game because all of them were mostly corrupted, contained malware, or were just scams.
Yeah, that's true.
Fair enough.
Yeah, finding that emulator is difficult.
Yeah.
We recommend piracy at its finest if you're able to and know what to do.
Mm.
But if you're not sure what you're doing, you could mess up your computer. That is the risk and reward of this game.
Oh yeah.
All named preserving history.
So overall, with your gaming experience and whatnot, you say you never played none of the PlayStations 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I mean, if you skip 5, I don't blame you.
Nobody.
Like consoles?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. My first PlayStation I got a PS4 when
Okay.
it first came out.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
You're
Yeah.
solid.
Yeah.
You're fine.
I was there as soon as it came out because at the time when I first got my 360, and then my friend, a very good family friend of mine, he was a big gamer when he was a kid. And he always told me about, little things that were going on around, from PS2 and then PS3 coming in with their new graphics system and then comparing it to Xbox 360, it was insane. I thought to myself, this is pure logic. This is a logical decision to make.
Yes.
Logical. Because would you agree with me that PS3 was not top dog, so to speak?
I would say yes and no. Yes, it was top dog throughout the ending of its life cycle to where it finally overpassed the 360. But no, because 360 was not only a cheaper console to get, but the games like your Halo, like when Halo 3 dropped in 2007, it was a big thing. It was huge.
It was huge.
Like myself and Waluigi, I've talked about it on a podcast to where I remember going to school, and it was like literally dead. It was dead at school because so many people just skip school just go play Halo 3. Like it was just empty. Like I was like, where is everybody?
Yeah, I was in elementary school.
I was in elementary school as well. But when I got to Halo, it was Halo 3, of course.
Yeah.
And I used to remember playing, I think it was Slayer.
Ooh.
I used to remember playing Slayer, and I was terrible. I was a terrible, terrible Halo player.
We're all kids. So
Yeah.
Of course we're going to be terrible.
Yeah.
Listen, I wasn't good either.
No, but if I have to remember one piece from my memory, it was going to one of my friends' houses that were very invested into Halo. They loved Halo.
Wow.
They played Halo Combat Evolved, they played Halo 2, and then when they got Halo 3, they were ecstatic. And then he always told me about it. He kept telling me. He's like, "Yo, come over. We'll play Halo 3." And one of these days I just said, "Yeah, let's do it." And so I have my mom. One of these days I had my mom take me to his house to go play Halo 3, and I just see this kid killing me about 10 times in a row. I can never lay a hand on him, not even with the energy sword.
That's the type of assholery in a friendship, and that's real.
No, that's
real
very
friendship there.
Oh my God, it was so real. And when I come to think about it, sometimes whenever I just want to mess around for a little bit on Halo 3, and he's just trying to find me, because split screen, like screen hacking, all that stuff back in the day.
Oh yeah, the classics.
Yeah, we would try not to look at each other's
screen.
That's good practice in eyesight. Low key, you just gotta look at your screen, be focused, and ignore the other one. Or some people did blankets in the memes, which I doubt anybody has ever done humanly.
No.
I never did blankets.
Because I love how split screens were either vertical or horizontal or vertical. But most people just focus on the lowest one or the highest, and that's always tricky.
It was very tricky.
Because you're looking at your ammo minimap and you're just squinting, depending on the TV.
It's like,
or if you're in those big ass plasma TVs, you're fine.
Yeah, you'd be fine. But no, the one moment that I can remember after killing him, and this was a very funny hit, I grabbed one of those aircrafts, UNSC aircrafts, and the next thing I do is we're on the desert part of the ring. It was that map. I think it was the desert part of the ring.
Oh, snap.
And when I grab the aircraft, I just went full kamikaze. I just decided, you know what? Fuck you. And I take him out. I just take him out instantly. I'm like, and he's like, "Where did you come from?"
And you're like, "Yes."
¿Por qué? What?
The Miami kicked in. I love it.
Yeah. Oye, ¿por qué tú estás haciendo este? What are you doing? I think about that memory all the time, and his reaction is just golden. I swear, I cramped on my abdomen from laughing too hard.
Yeah, those are one of those moments you can't forget when you're hitting a homie so hard. You have to remember this.
Do you ever remember one of those videos from YouTube? And this was 2015, where I think it was Delirious.
Delirious. I've heard that. I remember that name, but
I don't remember that name.
Oh well, they did a lot of BO2 back in the day. They used to do a lot of gun game.
Oh.
And there was this one moment where one of his buddies he does one of those throwing his bodies over and just goes prone.
Yes.
Yeah. He does it, and he blocks his boy's shot from killing him. And that was the winning shot.
Oh, I would have hated him.
And it's like, holy shit, did you just save my life? It's like, get down, Mr. President!
Those are the classics. Mr. President, get down.
I used to think to myself,
I hate gun game
oh, I loved Gun Game.
because pretty much, for those who don't know what gun game is in Call of Duty, if you get stabbed, you have to go back a level.
Yes.
Because you start off with a pistol, then you go from there, and your last thing is usually like a projectile of some sort, like a ballistic
The
knife.
injection,
The
injection knife,
the
the ballistic
ballistic
knife.
knife.
Yeah,
Ballistic
ballistic
knife, like hatchet, like it depends on the game sometimes, but most of the time it's ballistic knife.
yeah.
But if you get stabbed for that and you just have to work your way up, it just sucks.
Oh yeah.
Well, our method, because you know how you can change that
Yeah.
about how many guns they would decrease to? We went to 0. We took it to 0 whenever we'd play.
Oh no, that's a long game.
Oh, no, it was some of them were really long games.
It's attrition at this point. Like you're just battling to see who gets first or who breaks.
Yeah, but we always had that friend who was a hustler. You know, he would always think that he was terrible. We would always think that he was terrible, and then when he comes into our private games, he just murks us,
Locks in.
locks in like FaZe in the championships.
Oh my god, the MLG gaming is kicking in.
Oh my god, the MLG gaming is
You just hear like that dubstep music.
actually wait, no, okay, so well for dubstep,
Oh lord.
you got a matter of preference for dubstep?
Honestly, I just listen to lo-fi house music, but like some dubsteps I used to listen to in the early 2015s, but like the generic stuff, like I'm trying to remember. I'm bad with dubstep because I never knew names.
I'll give you one off the top. Knife Party.
Yes. Damn.
The only one I remember is Skrillex,
Yep.
and that's because I had a buddy of mine that I served with in the military. Shout out to you, Paul.
Oh, thank you for your service.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, like that was his thing, and yeah, dubstep was his thing, and I would hear it whenever we were at work or whatnot, and just like just bullshitting around or just lounging out or just doing some activities. So that's how I got into dubstep, was through him. Have I gotten into it still? No, but I just remember just that moment.
I'm gonna sound so vanilla. I just found out through Vine,
That makes sense.
as everybody else has.
No, as everybody else did, because at the time, of course, Vine was a big thing.
Yes, it was.
Vine was a huge application.
For the fastest 6 seconds of most people's lives. I don't know about some others, but that's okay.
Did you end up watching a lot of King Bash?
Yes.
Yeah.
The
See?
amount of damage he's caused is the best thing ever in the internet.
Oh my God, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine what his life was back then when he just kept going through, when he just kept going at it, making these
Yeah.
funny videos with his buddies, and oh my God, he
Yeah, then he became an actor. There's
that's a post Jordan Peele area.
yeah, literally. Like there's a lot of layers behind like the classic 2015s or like early 2010s when it comes to gaming culture and all that other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking at a new generation now, and it's like and we're looking back at these videos like this really did happen.
I still do
Yeah.
remember that scene he did in 50 Shades of Black
Wait, what?
with Marlon Wayans.
Oh, I have heard that name.
That parody movie that was 50 Shades of Grey, but it was 50 Shades of Black.
I've heard of it. I've not seen it.
Oh my goodness, that movie was. I'll be honest with you. If you watch it of your own free will. But that movie was. I want it. I can't. I just. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. It's just. It's not. It's not entirely good,
Understandable.
as so to speak.
Understandable.
But no. I rest my case. I rest my case with that.
But yeah, when it comes to music and gaming, like I feel like most people got into shooters because of dubstep clips.
No, they went there because of BO2's club scene. You know that.
That is also true.
You
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that existing.
Black Ops 2's Skrillex debut. That's how he got very famous with the gaming community.
Oh yeah.
That's
Or at
true.
least that's how I think of it.
That's true.
He was
I forgot about that actually.
he was on top. He was on top of the world with that song. And that song is amazing still. I still hear it every now and then actually.
I don't.
No, I went to go see him. I went to go see Skrillex I think it was this year or the year before last year
What?
at a festival.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. That's impressive.
Yeah, I got to see him at a music festival, and he still plays his old classics,
As he should.
the ones that made him become a rising star. And I thought, wow, there's a guy, there's still an artist who doesn't lose his touch by using his original music.
Can't go wrong with EDM sometimes unless it's poorly made.
Poorly,
I say that loosely.
yeah,
Because most of them are bangers.
they are.
Or especially like when you go to raves and such, like people play this music.
Raves are, for me, raves are a little bit selective. I've never been a rave person, to be honest with you. But of course, I have friends who go to raves. They go to a lot of rock raves mostly. But as far from what I've heard of electronic raves, I've never heard such a bad feedback. And I've heard some of the music. The music is good.
That is true. What else am I thinking? So, yeah, Call of Duty. I miss it low-key. I miss BO2.
Yeah.
It hasn't been the same.
Well,
Yeah.
I miss those days. I do.
Same.
The only thing I just don't miss are memberships that are just super pricey.
Memberships.
Yeah, when you're on Xbox 360, you had the gold membership.
Oh, yes, I
Yeah.
do remember that.
And then you just have subscription standard for Xbox, but now you have Game Pass. Good times.
I don't agree with Game Pass right now.
Nobody does.
Game Pass is not
Game Pass
is not
Game Pass does not even agree with Game Pass. They just sell it.
No, Game Pass is fallen because they've been losing a lot. They've been losing a lot of games that have been classics, cult classics for Xbox for so many years. But for one of my greatest moments of ever first-person shooter,
Mm-hmm.
my days were Modern Warfare 2.
Ooh.
One of the greatest of all time. Like when I saw the trailer, I told my dad and my mom, "Can you please get me this game?" And even though they told me, "No, you're too young," I told them, "Look, I can handle it. I'm not gonna do anything." Because you know how your parents they
Oh, yeah.
they always worry about you with those kinds of games.
They don't have faith into you, and then you have to give them the faith, and then
Yeah, and then you got to make a deal with them as like, "Oh, I'll get all A's on my report card this
Bingo.
semester. I'll get all A's on my report card this semester, so that way I can get the game." And when I finally did get the game, I kept playing and playing with my brother. It was nonstop funny moments of when we just decided to do trick shots, the 360 no scopes.
No, you were one of those kids.
Yeah, I was one of those kids at
I
one point.
respect it.
Yeah, I was one of those kids. And come to think of it, after 3 years of trying to do it, I finally got it. It was one of the pivotal moments in the it's this big moment with a certain YouTuber back then
Oh, you're
He-
talking about the guy in Modern Warfare 2 that jumped off the building to
in the high rise.
he was all
Yeah.
360 no scope.
Yes. I kept thinking about that for so long. And then after 3 years of trying to achieve it, I finally did it.
Damn,
I finally got to it.
that's a human achievement right there. That's real.
No, and it was Final Kill too, which made it good.
Oh.
Which made it good. And then I got to see my brother's face, and I'm like, he's like, "How do you what? How did you do that?"
Having a witness for these things are insane too. Because if you tell your friends, you're like, "No, we don't believe you," and you got to redo it over and over again,
Oh my goodness.
chasing a fallen dream. But if you have one witness, you don't have to do it again.
You would have to do it over and over and over again. And when I come to think of it in a figurative sense, that's like life.
Yes.
You do it over and over and over again until you think that something changes. But
Damn.
if you think of it differently, life can change when you change. Life can change when you change your patterns. Life can change when you try to alter your day-to-day tasks.
And this is coming from a 360 no scope. Can we take a moment on that one for the context? Because if we post this online, people are like, "What the hell is he talking about?"
I'm a philosophical guy.
I respect.
I am a super philosophical guy. I love statements that are meant to be motivational and heartfelt.
Hell yeah.
And don't think of me, and trust me, don't think of me as like one of those 21st century gym rat guys.
Nah, we respect you. Don't you worry.
No. It's not nothing like that. It's just that it's motivational. Motivation Motivation is what could keep you going. Like, you can have your family, you can have your friends, you can have anything in your life that'll keep you going. But you know what? Maybe a statement here and there from somebody that you admire, or even a family member, gives you a motivation. It changes you. It would change you.
Sometimes
It
you
would
just gotta
change you
fight
very
yourself and
much.
get up. I did talk about you versus you like a while back, because it's in the end you're fighting yourself to do the things you need to do, whatever takes necessary.
Yeah.
I've talked about this a long time ago, so I'm not gonna reiterate that one again.
Gotta do whatever it takes. Gotta do you.
Exactly.
You do you, and in the best way possible.
So, anyways, before we keep drifting off,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
you're good. You're good. This is your episode.
I'm
I don't-
bringing. Hey, I'm bringing it here.
Yeah,
I
you're,
love it.
You're bringing the heat on a Thursday. You're laying a mark.
And it's
I
the
don't mi-
first Thursday, first episode. Come on.
Yeah, first guest episode in 2025.
Hell yeah.
First
Yeah,
guest
you're
episode
fine.
on a Thursday. Yeah, so, segueing to our next topic. What are your current thoughts on the state of gaming today? Like 2025, what is your current thoughts on the state of gaming? A lot of stuff going on. I'm pretty sure you've already heard news about the Nintendo Switch 2. It's the talk of the town. Like, give us what is going through on in your mind when it comes to just the state of gaming.
That's a big question.
I know.
And just seeing this, it brings tears to my eyes sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
Look, creativity in games, I love it because people these people work 24 hours a day, or these people work 8 hours every single day to go to work and work on a game that they probably love,
Mhm.
or something that they think will be inspirational to somebody else.
Yeah.
Games like that, I love. I inspire and aspire for games like that to come to life. But when it comes to consoles, console-wise, like the Switch 2,
Yeah.
I could understand the scalper situation of what's going on with that, because yes, there are a lot of fans out there who love Nintendo. They've loved Nintendo for so many years, and they aren't able to get the opportunity to get one because you have so many damn scalpers around.
Yeah.
So I would have to say I agree with their methods of how they're distributing,
Yeah.
but the way around it of how they're going about is not entirely just. But what I would have to say is, hey, Nintendo is making a comeback this year. They really are, because they have games that they're trying to bring back that are classics, like Mario. I think it was Mario Kart World.
Yeah.
I believe that game is going to be good. It will be like GTA for kids.
You know, I never thought of it like that.
But then I gotta also ask you, what is your thoughts on the price? Because that's the big
Ooh.
debate
Yeah.
around the Switch 2 is the
That's-
price of the game.
It's
because
literally the talk of the town.
because the fact that you have the games that are pretty much on par with a base PS4 in terms of game quality and performance, but the price of those games are not reflective. It's pretty much beyond the current price of a PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X game, where it's above $70. So what are your thoughts on, something like that when it comes to Nintendo and the price of their games?
Now, with the console itself,
Yeah.
I guess they would have to. This is not really my. It is
Area.
my area of expertise, but at the same time, I'm not well informed on what the price is going to be.
Okay, so the price of the Nintendo Switch 2 is $450.
Oh hell no!
And then, if you want to get Mario Kart World with it as a bundle, it's $500.
Okay, well that's reasonable. That's a little reasonable, but I would have to say for a Nintendo console specifically,
Mm-hmm.
I would have to say that maybe knocking it down a smidge, maybe by like $80, people would probably be more satisfied.
They would run instead of walk.
Well, because I get from a business standard, they would have to meet a quota. Of
Yeah.
course, they would have to meet a quota on selling a certain amount of units, and they would have to try and make a profit for their shareholders or
Right.
stockholders or whoever gets the profits.
Yeah,
So
I agree. Yeah.
I guess on the business standard, I would understand it, but at the same time, you also have to think about your fans. You have to think about the people who have supported you on these consoles.
Right.
So for the game, yes. If you would get a Switch 2 with Mario Kart World for you said $500, correct?
Yep.
Okay. No, I would disagree. Maybe knocking it off by $100 and then keeping the $50 for the Mario Kart World. So $450, that would pretty much be a good range for the bundle.
Yeah.
Now keeping it sole console itself, $400.
Okay.
Knock it off $100.
Okay.
I can respect.
I respect that. And
That would be-
I definitely agree with that. Yeah.
Like, would you pay for a Switch 2 at that price range?
Oh yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
without question.
It's like that extra $50 will deter people. I will
Yeah.
say that.
Yeah.
And then you have the actual current games of the consoles.
Yeah, where like Mario Kart World by itself, it's
Like $80.
it's $80 for the digital version, $90 for the physical version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
Then you have remasters like the Breath of the Wild.
Legend of Zelda Breath
That's
of the
going
Wild.
for $80. A
$80.
remastered Switch 2 version.
Excuse me. Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. But
Yeah.
I know.
Wow. Okay.
I know you were ready for that one.
That surprised me. That surprised me a little bit.
A remaster costing more than a regular game is insane.
Yeah.
It is. No, a rematch. Yes, of course it is. But you do not have to put it that high. I mean, I get it. Technology is advancing very well, and of course, components, parts. I would have to say, especially in this especially in this part of the world, or
Yeah.
even in this current present day,
Yeah.
Yeah, because
they're becoming scarce.
yeah,
Oh,
because
yeah.
I even see the price of GPUs, like Nvidia GPUs, especially like their latest ones. It's just like, oh, forget it.
Yeah, good luck getting one.
Yeah, good luck getting one, especially at a very affordable price because they're selling for what, close to $2,000.
Like you will have to go out of the country just to get one.
Oh my goodness, no. Close to $2,000. I paid $2,000. I'm gonna be honest with you. In the height of COVID, when we had the Omicron strain coming out,
Oh yeah.
when it was around there, I paid $2,000 for a 3090. I was stupid. I was a stupid man. And then when I found out that they dumbed down the price a few months after, I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, "I'm an idiot."
As long as you enjoy your PC, like now still to this day.
Oh
But
no, I enjoy my PC. I'm on my PC. Well, I'm on my PC for work. I'm on my PC playing games. I do homework on it.
Yeah,
It's
Right.
amazing.
it's still putting its use because I know people debate about CPUs, GPUs. They want to get the newest one as soon as possible, but shelling that money, like back then, it was in a good investment, and then you look at it with regret. But as long as you live through that regret and don't sell your PC anytime soon, you should be fine.
Actually, nowadays, well, I'm building PCs. I would have to
Ooh.
say that they're cheap
Yes.
because now 2060s they go for around $500, $500 to maybe $600. I think the highest would maybe
That's
be $800.
not bad at all.
$800. And building that entire PC altogether, the only thing that would cost the most is the GPU.
Yeah.
Everything else you can buy for chump change.
Yeah.
You could basically buy for chump change.
Power supplies, monitors, etc.
Exactly. No. And in that point also with technology advancing so rapidly, especially at this point, I would have to say that it is going to be good. It's actually going to be very good.
Mhm.
Except you're just not going to get as many products coming through the line as much as you used to.
Yeah, especially compared to you're looking at like 10, 15 years back then where we would get like banger games like maybe next month or the next 2 months. Now it's just more so years
Yeah.
because with AAA games now, because they're rising in development costs, that means these games we're gonna have to wait like 5-6 years until that actual game comes out. When you look at like AA or even indie games, you're starting to see more of those coming. And I think for people who want to save money but still want a game and still want to have a much better gaming experience, they're going to look to those options of AA and single A games, indie games, to get their gaming experience. And there are a lot of hidden gems out there that people have yet to explore.
Very much so.
Even other resources like CD keys or like cheaper alternatives to getting games. Like if you don't want to straight up buy it from Steam, that's okay. CD keys, G2A, Even sometimes Amazon, you have your options to weigh out.
Of course. And
Yeah.
that's why I love the internet sometimes.
Oh yeah, they'll tell you straight up, hey, this is going on for sale. Get it now before they sell other codes.
Oh yeah.
And because it's codes from other distributors, you're saving money.
You're saving money. I mean, I bought Silent Hill 2. It was $20 off.
Damn.
It was perfect. I bought it for $40 when it came out.
I bought Dead by Daylight for $10.
That yeah. But for a game like that, especially since it's already been out for so many years,
Yeah.
that's a steal.
But the best thing is cross progression.
Cross progression.
That's the one thing I have not tested out yet. I procrastinated. I made my account, set it up, and waited for it. I forgot to play it. That's the only thing.
Well, I didn't get into all the technicalities when I got to Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, you just play.
I just played it. And I still say this: Nemesis is still my favorite killer,
Yeah.
or maybe the nurse.
I haven't played Dead by Daylight, so
I have.
he has.
Well, you're familiar with the with this killer. Oh my God, she's wearing the bunny mask. I forgot her name.
Huntress.
Huntress. Yes. Do you believe that her hatchet throw is broken?
Yes.
Insane.
Anybody that can throw from like half the map is technically should be a phase player. Should play Call of Duty at that point. They probably have experience in quick scoping, because that range where you're going from point A and there's like 4 points to point D and knocking someone out, bullshit.
Bullshit.
But if you have the skill, I respect it. I can't get mad. Like if I get stream sniped or sniped on stream, I wouldn't be mad. I deserve it for playing the game. Because it's supposed to be survivor based, or at least killer based, depending on depending on the killer and the type you're into. But Huntress, insane. You have to have skill just to throw an axe.
Yeah. But no, back to your question on consoles as well.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe that Nintendo has a shot, and especially for this year of it, they're releasing it this year.
Yes.
Okay. They have a shot of actually becoming one of the biggest consoles of all time. They'll come back up. They are coming back up now. That's what I believe.
Okay.
But they need to choose very, very,
Careful.
very, very wisely
Okay.
of their games.
Yeah.
With the games that they're coming out with and the stories of what they're going to put with those games.
Understandable. Okay. I can definitely agree with that.
And with Xbox, I'll tell you about Xbox. I gave up on Xbox.
I don't blame you.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
We talked about Microsoft, and we had some people in our comments glazing Microsoft or more offended
Yeah.
that we said this.
And what'd they say?
They couldn't respond back to half our situation. They just talked about bad about us. They had no chill. This is TikTok, pretty much. You know, people. But
Yeah, I think I would say one of the things that stood out to me in those comment sections when we did post like some of our clips on the TikTok, I think it was just the whole argument of exclusivity or whatnot. But people tend to forget that it was Microsoft having exclusive games to their platform is what made them, become more popular. It was the exclusive games that were on the Xbox 360 and the experience of gaming on Xbox Live is what really set them apart with PlayStation, especially with the PS3. You said you didn't have a PS3 or whatnot, and that's completely fine because, yes, PS3 did have some games and some IPs that were very interesting and whatnot, but I would say the Xbox 360 was like the king of multiplayer gaming.
Yeah.
Like if you really wanted the best multiplayer experience,
Xbox 360.
Xbox 360 was the best console to go to. For single player, you can go to PlayStation 3, but multiplayer it was hands down Xbox because you had the party chat. You also had
Oh my God, those
Party chat, voice messages,
voice
actual
messaging.
messages.
Yes, that was another big
Oh my
thing.
God, if you see the YouTube videos of like people cussing out or those voice messages where people just start rapping over, like there's so much creativity that you can do and be offensive for.
It was literally the Wild Wild West on the Xbox 360 back in its heyday. And despite the fact that yes, many of us went through multiple consoles because of the Red Ring of Death.
Yes.
Like I went through 2.
I went
some
through
people, yeah. So, but still, we still wanted the game on the Xbox 360, despite the fact that it had this faulty problem. It was like it was not enough to go and get a PS3 because it was like
There's
we
no
don't care.
point.
Yeah, we'll stay with the Xbox.
No absolute point.
Do you believe that the Red Ring of Death could be able to be fixed now? I mean,
No.
I mean, there are ways
Well,
to
actually, yeah.
there are ways to fix it, but again, you would have to look it up on YouTube, figure it out to diagnose it, and then okay, it should be good to go.
But next thing you know, you're gonna just have someone like DK Oldie show you how they fix it, and then it's just gonna be a broken console.
don't even get me started with DK.
Don't worry,
Don't get
But-
me started with
you at least you know I'm right.
Yeah, but when I did see those comments, and because I'm not trying to talk down to Xbox, it's just the fact that I want Xbox to do really good. I want them to compete.
We want
Because-
Microsoft to be strong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the fact that they're in a position now to where just like they pretty much just given up.
Yeah.
And now they allowed their exclusive games that they had exclusive for so many
To
years
go to PlayStation.
to go to PlayStation, to be on PC when back then you had to buy an Xbox 360 to experience these games.
You had
And-
to buy it straight from Steam.
And yeah, and then now when you look at where Microsoft is now, especially with the Xbox, it's like, what's the point of even getting this console? What's the point of buying an Xbox console at all? Like, there's no point. It's either a PlayStation 5, which I've have my sayings of the PS5 and some of the things that I disagree with the direction of where PlayStation is going.
we have talked about.
But because the fact that the Xbox is just pretty much just be like, you know what, we give up,
It's a paperweight.
and they don't
It's
no
a
lo-
gigantic brick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a
And-
gigantic brick.
and they no longer want to compete in the quote unquote console wars. Now you've allowed PlayStation to become very lazy
yeah.
with the games that they've been putting out.
And they're like, hey, we're gonna have some Xbox games soon, so you won't even need an Xbox.
So and the thing that I try to home down on the people is, you want these gaming corporations like your PlayStation, your Xbox, you want them to compete, because guess who ends up benefiting it? The gamers do.
Yeah.
Because we end up getting a really good gaming experience. And some people just did not see that point. So of course, yeah, they're gonna, say a couple of negative things here and there, whatnot. But I would say that was like the one thing that was standing out, is the fact that now some people would be like, you know what, exclusivity sucks. No game should be exclusive. It should be accessible everywhere. Which I understand that argument, and I agree with that argument. But there's also the fact that when you look at something like Nintendo, Mario's not going anywhere.
Nope.
Anything Mario related, it is not going anywhere.
Mario,
like
Zelda, Metroid.
if you want to experience those games, you're buying a Nintendo console.
Yeah.
They're not giving it away.
Nope. Even
And
the emulation's scary.
And what Nintendo's going to keep doing, they're going to keep creating more new IPs to bring more people into their ecosystem,
Yeah.
which is what I would want Xbox to do. Because if Xbox start doing that, that's going to force PlayStation to start doing better and start, you know what, hey, we need to pay attention to some of these IPs that we've been neglecting for so many years.
Yeah, they're going band for band pretty much, is what
Yeah.
some people would say.
So with the current state of gaming, this is just for me, and I'll give you back the mic. I want more competition amongst these gaming companies, because the fact that it'll allow us gamers to now have more options of the type of games that we would want to play, and that'll tell these corporations that we want more better games that is going to give us a better gaming experience.
Well, as for exclusivity, I would have to say that when I think about when I'm playing Xbox and I'm on Game Pass, I'm on PC most of the time now.
Right.
And when I want to get on my Game Pass, there's always these kinds of games that are not granted to us PC users.
Yeah.
Like, for example, give Gears of War for example. You can play all of the Gears of War on a console from Xbox.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But you can't play them
Mm.
on PC Game Pass.
Just 5.
5 well, before they got rid of it, before they took it off. It was 4,
Oh,
5, and then there was 4, 5 Gears Tactics, and then
I forgot about Tactics.
and then the Ultimate Edition, which was the remastered of the original.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. And what I would want them to start doing is to start bringing over those kinds of games to PC, because they have the certain technology to do it. They can be able to alter and work their way around, and they are able to emulate the game off of their program.
Yeah.
If they can be able to put their games on their console with the kind of specs that you would get from a single $800 PC, then you can do it from getting one of the top-notch PC towers. You can be able to play from one of those as well.
Right.
But as for exclusivity, I would have to say that yes, bringing more exclusive games would up the competition between corporations. But I would have to say that nowadays people don't really want exclusivity. They just want, I would say they just want the rush of the game. They want the kind of game that's going to take them off of their seat, that is a good story, and that's just going to be amazing. They just want the general game that is going to excite them.
Right. And I would also piggyback off of they also want the game to come to their platform without having to go out and buying another platform to go play that game on.
Yeah, that too.
They don't want to waste the money. They're just like, just bring the game to our platform and that's that. And we'll experience it from there.
Yeah, because it would save like a common person like me a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
It would save me a lot of money. I wouldn't have to buy another console.
Yeah.
And I've already got way too many as it is.
We get it.
No, as for consoles, let me see. I can give you a list.
Go for it.
So, let's see. I have a Game Boy Color.
Okay.
Game Boy Advanced SP.
Ooh.
I have a PS Vita.
Ooh.
I have a GameCube. I have an Xbox 360. I had an Xbox One, but got rid of it. I have a PS5. And I am in the works of getting an Atari.
Ooh.
Wow.
I want to go and experience what it was like to
Oh my
play
gosh.
an Atari game. I do.
Any luck?
There have been a few. There's actually a guy out near my area in Homestead
All right.
where he sells retro games.
Ooh,
And
sick.
he always gives me a sweet deal for it.
Nice.
Because most of the time I buy stuff that are up value, not too expensive, but up value
Within that range.
within the range. Like the last time I bought Need for Speed Most Wanted 2005.
Damn.
It was the platinum hit cover.
Damn.
Woo.
He sold it to me for $50 and I got like two $10 games and he knocked off I think $5 for each game.
That's so cool.
That's good. That is a good deal.
It was a great deal. I loved it. And and then the next week after that I ended up finishing Need for Speed.
Nice.
That blacklist. You got to work that blacklist.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Oh yeah. All right. On to our next topic, and that is, give us some of your you had to be there gaming moments. I know throughout the conversation. Yeah.
Talk about the kamikaze. That was funny.
Yeah, you've given us some of your best moments of that you experienced in gaming or whatnot. So, what are some other you had to be there gaming moments that you had that you can share with us?
Actually, this one's more recent.
Okay.
So, I think a year or two ago, I was playing Lethal Company with a group of people. And we had that mod where we can put in more than the maximum,
Yes.
more than the exceeded
I know
number
which
of
one you're
players.
talking about.
Yeah. So we wanted to get a group together, about 10 people. And the next thing I know, we have enough money already to reach our quota. If you guys don't know what Lethal Company is, it's pretty much a horror game, and you pretty much go and salvage. You pretty much go and salvage parts, and then you sell it to this company that you're part of. And best thing about it is that it's a horror game. So you have like monsters going after you. You have them going after you and try to kill you. So when we get off the ship, the first thing that happens, we are in the most advanced level. We are in one of the hardest levels in the game. The next thing I know, I see two of my friends getting dragged out by one of these big, gigantic monsters.
Oh.
It looked like the freaking Leviathan from it looked like the gigantic Leviathan from Subnautica.
Oh.
I don't know what it was called, but it had a name. And the next thing I know, we start running towards the structure just to make sure that it doesn't get us. And when we get in, we get a mannequin.
Oh, the Weeping Angels?
No, not the Weeping Angels. We get the thing with like the bobbleheads.
Oh, yes.
I think they're called mannequins. I'm not sure.
The ones where you have to stay looking at them?
Yeah, where you have to run while looking at them. Next thing I know, I look at this thing and I'm trapped in a corner. I'm trapped in a corner where the exit is like on the bottom level, and you gotta try getting out through the side. I'm right there. And the next thing I know, I go to the radio. I'm like, hey guys, can you please help me out here? I don't want to die. Can you help me? And then all I hear is just laughing on the other side, and they're like, ha ha ha, you're gonna die. I'm just like, why?
For real.
Why do you do this to me? Why do you do this to me? And then and then a few seconds after, I come to realize that they're all over their walkies trying to figure out where they are. It's like, hey, when you come get me? I think I just found Rogu. It was like Rogu from American Dad. No, and it was just like one of those and one of my friends had an arachnophobia, and that's how he got killed.
Oh.
He had one of these big spiders coming at him.
It's the spider bite like covers your face and,
And
you
it-
just choke.
It covered his face.
And you hear the muffling.
Yes, no. He didn't muffle.
Oh.
Well, he muffled on the radio, but on his mic, he screamed. And the next thing I know, he unmutes his mic from Discord, and all I hear is his girlfriend in the background screaming at him. It's like, oye, ¿por qué tú estás gritando? What the hell are you doing? It's like I hear slapping. I hear a little bit of a I hear a little bit of a smack along the head. It's hilarious.
Oh,
And the next thing we know, we start laughing our butts off. We're like, what the fuck? Because we didn't know that his girlfriend sleeps in the same room as him. We didn't know at the time that his girlfriend lives with him. We didn't know. So
That's even funnier.
it's even funnier. And the next thing we know, it's like in like a very embarrassed voice, it's like, guys, I have to get off. Okay, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. And like a weep, he has kind of a weeping voice
I don't know.
going on.
After you get your ass kicked
After getting your ass kicked by by
the
by-
spider and your girl, that's like there's no winning after that one. You're like, yeah, I gotta go home and I gotta go to bed.
Yeah, no. And then and then I would have to say, legend has it, he was killed by the chancleta itself. By the chancleta of death.
Oh my god, the company wasn't satisfied.
No. Oh my god, no. Then afterwards, we kept laughing our butts off because of what happened, and pretty much about 6 out of 10 of us died.
Damn.
6 out of 10 of us just ended up dying. I think one was from the what are those things that are like dun 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 dun?
Oh, the music box. I
The
forget.
music box. Thank you.
That thing is horrific.
Yeah, the music box. We got the angels. Oh my goodness! And then we also had the toy soldiers.
Oh yeah. So toy soldiers basically have one eye. They're very mechanic. They'll look left, right, shoot, and you can knock it out to get the gun, but it's a lot of work. Like I played a game briefly, but that's trauma. Once you see that jukebox, you're dead, unless you know a way to get out.
If you see that box, you better pray.
Yeah.
You better pray to whatever God you pray for.
Because running in that game is stupid. Like it runs faster than you, or it picks up speed. You can be halfway in that dungeon, and it will catch up to you within less than a minute.
that is scary.
It's like the Scarecrow in Repo.
Yeah.
It's like the Scarecrow in Repo.
I think Repo is more like toned down Lethal Company.
It is.
As controversial as that sounds.
From that perspective, yes, it is a toned down Lethal Company. It really is.
It's much easier to play.
It's much easier. It's much easier to play, and at the same time, you also get to pick up one of your players and they just hold him like a baby. It's like, ooh, here's my little baby, and then
Oh yeah, you have a lot
you
of
just
memes.
toss him.
There are memes getting created left and right because of that game. And like people are finding random singers in that game. That's how crazy it is.
There are multiple moments in my life. Like, trust me, I have you should have been there moments on a constant basis. I am experiencing them left and right. And to be honest with you, if nobody else thinks it's funny, I think it's funny because it's laughable. It's also laughable.
Hell yeah.
But for my repo moment, if I would have to put it, a few weeks ago I was playing and I hit a home run on last loser standing.
Oh no.
I hit a home run. I was like, I as soon as I spawn in, I'm like, where's the bat? Where the hell's the bat? And I'm like, hey, bada bada bada, bada swing! The next thing I know, everybody just sees this guy. Everybody just sees this guy freaking flying. And I'm like, Home run.
Yeah, because in the game you can fight other dungeon monsters
Yeah.
or carry them if you have enough strength.
Interesting.
It's that's why I say it's a lighter version of Lethal Company. Like once you know what you're doing, you know the patterns.
It's more complicated though.
I sum it up like that. That's like the best way to diet it down.
They put a vast amount of complications, which, to be honest with you, it's, I don't know, just
That's how I had to
It-
simplify it for the viewers, at least if they don't know this game.
no, yeah, for
Just keep
and-
watching me.
yeah, for any of you guys watching, and if you guys haven't played Repo, the best way that we can or him and I can explain it is that it's basically just like Lethal Company, except you have upgrades.
Yeah.
You have upgrades, and you have little things that you can do to combat the monsters.
You are the monster in the end,
Yeah, except you are the monster in the end.
while still being on a 9-to-5 basis.
Except that duck. Oh my god, that freaking
Oh
duck.
yeah, I've heard.
No, duck turning into a monster. That is unbelievable.
Yeah, you just gotta avoid it.
All right.
Oh man.
Our next topic, and this is a good one. What are your gaming pet peeves? Give us at least 3
The things you hate that
pet peeves in gaming that
Hang on.
just.
Oh no.
I wanna.
Oh good. It's good to have a healthy stretch.
Yeah, I wanna have a healthy stretch before I ream out the entire communities of something.
Dad, if you're watching this, you can stretch too. Well, you should.
Go for it.
So first pet peeve, Call of Duty. You have those wall banger guys who have that cheat. I hate you. I don't like you.
Oh.
I just don't like you. I get it. You use it for trolling, but at the same time, come on. Let somebody else have fun. I mean, at some point, it's going to happen. It's going to happen either way. It doesn't matter. But for COD, yeah, COD has a lot of cheaters. Of
Oh,
course.
yeah.
I'm not gonna
It-
deny
like
that.
Warzone is just like Cheaterland.
Yeah, Warzone is cheaterland. But as far as what I could say about it, it's a great experience to have for COD. Except those guys. That is my one pet peeve about COD. I don't care if you're a phase member and you beat the crap out of me in one game. Okay, I'll take that. Okay, you've been playing more than I have.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But cheaters, I just can't stand them. I just can't stand the cheaters.
Yeah. What's the point of playing a game if you have to modify it to your liking?
Yeah. But the most pet peeve that I hate about other games, like I would have to say quest-based games.
Okay.
Let's see. With oh my god, what was my most recent? If I would for quest, I guess Elden Ring.
Okay.
I like Elden
Okay.
Ring. I mean, I like some medieval games sometimes, you know. I played Shadows of War. I played Shadows of Mordor.
Ooh.
It was fun. I loved it. But having to go quest by quest by quest, and then especially just keep going on to repetitive missions. I mean, I would want them to at least give me a good enough reason to take this quest, even after when I just did it again
Mm-hmm.
for another item. I would at least want them to take me somewhere else. And then Destiny. Destiny. Destiny is where it takes it.
the
Is
real man's gotcha game.
is where it goes there.
Bro.
There are certain points of where you can be able to stray from your path and you could just be able to take it the easy way out, or you could just like, oh, you find a secret hidden room. I remember in the Taken King, there was a secret hidden room that my friend showed me,
Yeah.
and we had to go on it to get this spirit bow. It was an exotic item.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a blue spirit bow or something. And the next thing I know, we go through this 10, 20 times.
You had that grind.
Oh,
We had that
man.
grind for hours. We stuck by it for hours. And then he tells me, oh, yeah, no, this is just a fragment.
It is shit like that is the reason why I stopped playing Destiny 1 and 2.
Look at my face. This is my face. This is my face. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I am going to strangle you. I mean, come on. It's unbelievable.
It is.
Yeah.
It is
unbelievable.
unbelievable.
I hate that. when you're just literally just like you're trying to grind to get this weapon or to get some armor pieces for your armor so that way you can customize your
But you're
guardian and
getting
whatnot.
Fragments.
And then it's just like, oh, it's just a small piece of it. I'm just like,
Then you're like, do it again.
I remember when I did the Ace of Spades.
oh,
The Ace of Spades assignment in Destiny 2 to get Cade's pistol.
That was so much work. That did not have to
it,
happen.
it literally
It did
was.
not have to be that hard to get. It really did not.
No, it wasn't hard. It was just tedious. Going back and forth and
Well, yeah,
back and
tedious.
forth.
I
Tedious is
hated
the word.
that.
No, tedious is the word for it. And I swear,
So freaking long.
excuse me. No, that moment I realized I'm getting off Destiny forever.
Yeah,
And then he found a real reason to him is just discontinuing is just because he found the main voice found an acting career somewhere else that he's not really relevant in. Anyways, not important now.
You got to look at it this way.
Yes, money talks.
Money talks in some areas, but you know what? Most of those voice actors, they do it for the art.
Yes.
Be relieving that they do it for the art.
Oh hell yeah.
oh yeah.
And I'm not and also Hollywood. Yes, they also do. Some do it for the art.
That is true. So we got grinding quest and cheaters.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And yeah, pretty much after all that, grinding quests and cheaters.
What's your third pet peeve?
My
you-
third.
If you have one.
This one didn't last very long. This was a pet peeve I had when I was a kid. When I
Mhm.
was
But it's,
when I say
does it still resonate? Like you still think about it once every while?
it comes and goes. It's about Gears
Go on.
with the freaking Nasher.
Oh my god. You're either
Actually, no. Forget the Nasher, the long shot. That's the one that actually pissed me off even more.
Oh yeah.
When other
I
people
popped
use
my
it.
head. I popped my head. Head gets.
I like how I had the motion too as we both said it.
It's like, head gets blown off instantly.
Goodbye. But when you do it, you just hit the neck and it doesn't kill.
I know. Oh my god.
I read you like a book. I knew where you're going with this because it happens.
And elaborate on the pet peeve. Yes, that part 2 is the most.
Yeah.
Mm.
I was 12 and I had a struggle with this, and my cousin just keeps headshotting me like, why? Why? And then with Nashers, it's like you have to be up close and personal to kill. But if you're far away shooting, it's multiple times.
Oh yeah.
It's a one shot, one kill up close.
Yeah.
Like Nashers is like the league's like recommended weapon for Gears. That's how serious it is.
Oh yeah. Like when I've played multiplayer on Gears of War, I don't.
No
Shotgun is all I use.
No thoughts. Nasher.
Shotgun's all I use.
Absolutely no thoughts. Nasher.
And you had to also learn how to like wall bounce effectively, just to get like really close to people, and then just turn on them and then just Nasher and just bum 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 bum. And you're just like, what in the hell?
Yeah.
Until you learn how to do it, it's just like, oh.
I hate the fact that some people have actually tried to trick shot with the grenades. Like it's Call of Duty.
But it's third person. The cameras are slower.
And second, the 5-second counter doesn't go off on this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like they hold it.
It has to land first.
Kobe.
and then- It has to land first and then boom.
Yeah.
The do.
No, I'm like Kobe.
And most of the time it's smoke grenades. It's not even a real grenade. So it's more annoying.
I mean, what are you throwing?
These hands. I'm kidding. That's too dramatic.
You're throwing these hands.
Oh my god. I would replay Gears, but I think there's gonna be bots or mostly like people have committed to the game and they're just coping until E-Day.
Actually, yeah, this is something I wanted to ask you guys because this
Sure,
was
yeah.
this was a curious question that I had on like a list. What do you guys think of Gears E-Day coming out? Especially now since they're going back to only a few hours, or I think it's only
Before
a few
Gears,
days.
before this, well, this is after kind of sort of within Gears 1. That's the weird part.
Before Gears 1.
Yeah, this is
Mm.
before Marcus got imprisoned.
No, this is 14 years before.
Yeah, I say that loosely, but pretty much I'm looking forward to the story. I don't know how far in the back of the grassroots are they going with the game. Because I don't know if we're talking Gears of War 1 or they're going to have Gears of War 5 mechanics in the game or weapons. That's the real question. What weapons are going to be there? Because they've only modified the Lancer twice. They have the retro and then the main one.
Yeah.
Then we're not too
Then they
sure.
modified it back in 5 when making the
Yeah.
stock.
They've only modified it like a couple times. That's it. So we're not sure if it's back in that story. I'm not sure if they're gonna follow Gears of War Judgment for how it's T for teen. There's a lot of direction they can hit, and it's gonna piss off some people.
Well, in the story, I would have to say that during Gears Judgment, this happens. I think what, like 6 weeks
Yeah.
after E-Day.
Yeah.
And I think that probably there's a couple of Easter eggs of where Marcus Phoenix is actually in Judgment. They might put that portion of the part, like
Yeah.
about the light mass bomb.
Yeah.
And all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in that portion of the story, they'll probably put it in E-Day.
Props.
Maybe.
I feel like they're gonna reference a lot or like have cut some loose ends that's been holding back for years for people who don't read the books. I never read the books. I'm not gonna lie to you, chat, but
No, neither did I.
I'm not sure how the gameplay is gonna be. If we see an alpha or we see the beta, I want in because I actually want to commit to this game. Plus, I've always been like a controller player when it came, even on PC. I play on controller. Like I stick to the old-fashioned way. People can criticize that, but that's okay.
I was naturally a controller player myself, but as soon as I got to PC, I just started transitioning very slowly.
I'm too stubborn.
No, I had the art. I was cracking down. I was collecting kills for controller on first-person shooters, and then after when I got to PC, I just got so tired of getting the controller, doing this, plugging it in, fidgeting with the
Micro USB.
yeah, with the micro USB, making sure it works
Ah.
because it gets bent, and I just stopped,
Yeah.
and then I just started learning. I started crackling my fingers like this
Yep.
with the ASDW, and
You got the gamer fingers. Because leverless controllers, like people who play fighting games, have the leverless, and they have to do the same thing. I do a hand stretch every time, just to keep my blood flowing. But I don't know where the direction of Gears E-Day is gonna be. Until they start showing access, like for filming or like at least a alpha of what's this gonna look like, I won't know until they give us a direction. I'm looking forward to Gears of War Epic or Microsoft actually cooking something good.
I actually can't wait. I actually can't wait to see the film that they're working on.
Yeah, I forgot about the fuck.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if in the chat know about this. So Coalition is trying to make a deal with a certain film studio. I don't know which one specifically. They are trying to make a Gears of War movie. And as far as what it goes from having experienced actors, the only person that I've ever seen that would be as like a representation of a certain Hollywood actor, it was Dave Bautista.
Yeah.
Dave Bautista.
The fact
And
he's a Gears character is still the funniest thing.
it's still
And he's been I wouldn't say shilling for it, but he's been like a strong advocate to like he wants to make it happen.
I would
Beca-
support him in the movie.
Yeah, because as you guys were talking about Gears of War E-Day or whatnot, like same with Waluigi, I need to see gameplay. I need to see more of this because it's been almost over a year since we've heard anything about.
No, it's actually been like less than a year because they talked about this in the Summer Games, and then they talked about Doom 20, the next Doom game.
Right.
Those are the only two games I'm looking forward to.
But yeah, like I'm with you, Waluigi. Like I need to see more of the Gears E-Day, and I want to see where the story goes because I've been following the stories up until 3. I did not play Judgment because
Nobody did.
I
Very like few people did, but it's just like it's a prequel.
I didn't play Judgment, so I skipped out on Judgment. Didn't play 4 because I didn't have an Xbox One. Didn't play 5. To me, it was like the story was perfect with 1, 2, and 3. 3 being one of my favorite one,
Same.
and then of course 2, which was 2 to me like really like I was hooked. Like 1 blew me away, but 2 had that hold on me like, oh, I am never letting go of this franchise. Like I'm in it.
Yeah, the lore wise,
course.
I'm a sucker for the Carmine's Curse.
The Carmine Curse. Oh my God.
So, for those of you that don't know much about the Carmine Curse, every Carmine has died in the Gears of War franchise except for one,
Yes.
and that was Clayton, which is from 3.
Yes.
The funniest thing is they skipped 4, but 5 they had Gary Carmine, who just died immediately. The cycle doesn't end. One will live and the others will die.
I mean, well.
Anthony was one of my favorites, and Benjamin.
Oh, wait, no, and then don't forget about Lizzie.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Lizzie.
Don't forget about Lizzie Carmine because.
Yeah, she's still alive, right?
No, she died.
Oh yeah, never mind.
She died too.
Carmine Curse, baby.
The Carmine Curse still lives on to this day from all the games. But.
We know Clayton died after probably 4 or 5, so that's fine.
Oh my goodness. Well, as for that game coming out from E-Day, what would you guys think about Mafia?
Ooh, I saw the game.
I saw
Story,
the game.
look, story rich,
saw this.
third-person shooter. I
I'm in it.
enjoyed that.
Because a good single player hasn't been like made in a while that had that type of story.
Yeah.
Plus, it's straightforward. There's no open world. Well, it is kind of open world, but you have options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's
And it's in a Italian setting, I believe.
yeah, Sicily.
Yeah.
Sicily.
So I'm excited for it. I want to see more gameplay of it, and then of course, when is it coming out?
I give it like a year or 2, like the standard. We always say a year or 2, and then they get showed a real date. Then we talk about it later.
As far as what I think, I'm pretty sure that they're probably going to come out with a release date at this convention now that's coming out, the showcase.
Oh yeah.
At this I think is it the Xbox showcase?
What showcase is coming?
Wait.
There's one showcase coming out in the next few months that they do for summer.
Summer games is usually
Summer Game Fest.
Yeah, Summer Game Fest, because they
Okay.
were gonna release major names like I think it was gonna be Mafia, and I think it was gonna be another title, but I don't know which one it would be.
Okay.
No,
It's going to be taking place on YouTube Theater June 6th, and a physical Playdays event taking place June 7th to the 9th.
okay,
And it's a 2-hour live celebration, for those that don't know.
that's oh my god,
I saw it once with some friends.
I can't wait to tune in. I really can't wait.
Me too. Like, this is a pinnacle of gaming. I want to see where it goes in.
Yeah.
Something that you guys don't want to miss out.
It's something. No. It is something. Like I said, technology is changing. It's advancing.
Oh,
And when it comes to video games, it is going to be next level. When they released about the concept of a new engine coming out, Unreal Engine 5, I was kind of excited. I thought to myself, I wanted another game that was going to be astonishing. Something that could make me get out of my chair like I did when I first got my first Xbox, when I started playing Modern Warfare 2. Because Modern Warfare 2 was pivotal in
Yeah.
its time.
Yep.
It was game-changing.
Oh, hell yeah. It definitely was.
Yeah, and it had a great story. It had a great story of how it was going to be, and continuing off from their third game, Modern Warfare 3, which I thought was a great way to end the story. And then also to come out years later with the fact that they could have come out with a fourth one and a different ending. You see, it goes to show what video games can do for people who love story-rich titles and also love the excitement. It just goes to show because people live off of this stuff.
I agree.
People have a story to tell and they want to play it out, or some people want to experience the stories.
Yeah, and it's amazing. It's an amazing experience to have, which is why I played sports as much as any other kid. I went out. I did everything that I wanted to do. I wanted to experience life also, but
Hell yeah.
coming back to video games, it's a different thing. I love it,
You have
and I will never get rid of it.
yeah,
in my life.
you have your personal space, you have with other people, you have many options.
Exactly.
For the intro, extros, and omnitros, whatever you call those, the omniverts, the people that are very like all around. You
Yeah.
have options in your games, and that's what's a beautiful thing about it. Where sports, it's either a 1v1 or a team battle that you have to go out every day. You can either go to a local or you can go to an internet bar. You can just stay at home. You have a lot of options in gaming, and that's what the beautiful thing about it.
I go to this. Actually, I go to this place in Kendall. It's called Arcade Odyssey.
Oh,
We've heard of it.
yeah,
Yeah.
we have.
Yeah. If you got look, and anybody in the Kendall area or even further down in my city of Miami, hit up Arcade Odyssey.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's fun. It may have its history for some selective people who know. You know. Okay? You know.
I am definitely not saying.
I don't want to say it. but
Don't
we know.
say it.
We both
We're not going to
Please.
say it, but I do know what he's talking about.
Just look up Arcade Odyssey incident. It's on you if you look it up.
Yeah, it's better if you do it because it cannot be disclosed.
You can't blame us. We're just telling you what happened.
Do not blame. Just
Please clip that for the love
Look.
of God.
I did.
look. Please. Do not tread on the past of any locations whatsoever. But this place has changed. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, as long as that same machine isn't there.
Bro!
Oh my god! No! Oh my goodness!
See, at least we're not saying anything. But
Oh my god! No! No!
Ain't no way.
Okay, well they got rid of the machine. They got rid of it.
okay, yeah, so it's a
They
good
got
pla-
rid of the machine.
Okay, yeah, it's a good place to go.
No, they got rid of the machine. It's a great place to go. Don't worry. It's fun times. It's fun times.
I feel like they're gonna look at us like we gotta talk later on the DMs.
Oh shit.
That would be funny.
Oh my god.
But hey, I don't live nearby, so it's not like we're
Bro,
gonna.
please don't blame me for anything that I have.
Nope.
Please don't blame me for anything.
Remember, it's on the viewer for knowing what we mean and what we talked about. We do not take any responsibility in your own actions of looking up.
Oh, yeah. Bro.
I had to say something.
Hey, but but we also have other good places. Like, I mean, the arcades aren't really present in my part of town, but that's the spot. That's the spot I grew up on.
Yeah, I've been
Yeah.
there before many, many years ago, and it was actually a lot of fun. Like my first time, like with all retro machines and some of the, yeah, a lot of retro machines actually.
They got rid of the computers actually.
Huh? What the hell do they have then?
They replaced it with more classic games.
Okay, that's actually.
Actually, they have a Type of the Dead.
Ooh.
I think we have that here at Flynn's Arcade.
Yeah, that or
Type of
it's
the Dead,
yeah.
yeah.
That's a good game.
Yeah, no, and I looked at it and I was like, they used to do this?
That'll
They
make-
used to play this?
That'll make a bitch learn how to spell.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, that's the nicest way I could say.
That'll make a woman realize what it's like to type.
like you just gotta go. Like that's dumb. It's dumb.
No, that'll make a man or woman realize
No.
what it's like to freaking type. It's like,
Yeah, you have to be. It's a fast pace. I played it before. Like some of the Island Boys and I played it, and we got our asses kicked. I got humbled.
oh my god. It was insane.
My own team watched me get humbled. Not even a first level.
And
Uh,
well, I got to this. I died on the last guy.
Sacrilegious was the word. No, I'm joking.
Well, Chris, before we close this thing out and head on out, is there anything you want to say that you want to talk about before we head on out? And of course, let people know exactly where they can find you on social media.
Yeah. I got two things. One, never forget your first time of a video game, because that's going to be the greatest memory you will ever have. And second, never forget your inner child. I mean, look, we go through life one day at a time. We try to realize that we're growing up. We have a lot to do. We have a lot of responsibilities. We have a lot of obligations to ourselves, whether you're married, whether you're not married, whether you have kids or don't have kids. It's all right. It's all right to go back to your inner child. It's good. It's good to put it that way because it's nice. It's well thought, and it just makes you realize that, you know what? I'm a happy person. I am a person who looks back on their life and says, this is what I did.
Damn,
Well said.
that's real.
Well said.
And if you get the chance, look, follow me on Instagram. Instagram, Chris_Valdi. And if you want, shoot me a text. I'll answer all the texts. If you guys want to speak, you guys want to talk, actually, you guys might actually catch me at SuperCon this year.
Nice. We'll be there.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
And Otaku.
Oh, hell yeah. We'll be at Otaku Fest too.
Just look for the Vault Dweller
Which
from Vault 33.
Okay, there we go.
Just look for Vault 33's Vault Dweller. I'll be there.
Alrighty. All right. Waluigi, any closing thoughts?
You definitely laid a good impression on this Thursday for a first guest episode of podcast. So a lot of people are gonna have to raise the hype up. And I love all the philosophies you've had in the gaming experiences, the comedy, having a Miami person come back. It's amazing. Definitely respect you, and I can't wait to look at more of your adventures.
Oh, I hope so too. I hope to. Well, I mean, I hope to come back on the show. This is amazing, and what we talk about is heartfelt. It's down to earth, and it's also awesome. A lot of people realize this, that everything, like I said, everything in life is you have to cherish it. You have to cherish life. Cherish your inner child. That's the best of my ability that I can bring it to.
I appreciate that. Well, Chris, thank you so much for being a guest on our podcast. Greatly appreciate it, and can't wait to have you back again because you brought the energy tonight, and
That woke me up.
yeah, definitely, definitely. And I hope those that are watching and listening, hey, this is when we even talked before the podcast, I was like, listen, a lot of people when they come here on the podcast, they get nervous.
No, you're
whatnot.
ready.
But they get nervous, but as me and Waluigi, we've done this for so long. We just tell people, listen, we're just talking about games. They're just imagine you're just talking about video games amongst your friends, amongst like-minded people and whatnot, and just relax and have a good time. And then as the conversation goes, we get to see you become more comfortable. You start talking a lot more. You start getting very comfortable. And for you tonight, man, you definitely brought in the energy, and can't wait, man. Can't wait to see you at Otaku Fest because we'll be there, and of course, for SuperCon, we'll be there as well.
Oh yeah, can't wait to see you guys.
Hell yeah.
That's cool.
And for everyone else that is watching or listening, hey, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for being a part of episode 127 of the South Florida Gamers Podcast. If you want to be a guest on the podcast, visit the South Florida Gamers Podcast Instagram page and hit the link in the bio. That'll take you to the application. Fill out the application and we will get to you shortly. I still have a few more openings in this quarter. June is going to be a very busy month, but we'll work around. And of course, if you are going to apply, and after you finish applying, just wait for the Google email. It's usually an invite. And let's just say if you're not able to, attend that day, let me know via email, and we'll see how we can arrange to, get you on or whatnot. If it's not on a Sunday, we'll probably get you on a Thursday evening. So
Whatever works.
yeah, as Waluigi said. And with that being said, hey, like the stream, follow us, subscribe, and this has been episode 127 of the South Florida Gamers Podcast. We are signing off.